Hi everyone, happy Thursday. It's Amy. I am dedicating every Thursday from today until the end of the year. I'm going to jump on and I'm going to read from the Grief Recovery Handbook. Um, John W. James created the grief recovery method in the late 70s after the loss of his son. He was struggling. His society's natural response at the time was, don't feel bad, you can have another child. And intellectually, sure, logically, sure, emotionally, devastating. So he, over the course of just under a year, he created an action plan called the Grief Recovery Method, which he helped himself to heal from the loss of his son. And I took the training myself as a griever just over 3 years ago. And then this past year, in March, I took the training to become a grief recovery specialist. And although I haven't actually launched it as a business yet, I still love sharing in the treatment room tips that can help somebody whose heart is hurting. And your heart can hurt and you can feel grief for over 40 different losses in life. Grief is the normal and natural reaction to a loss of any kind. Therefore, the feelings that you have are normal and natural to you. The problem is that we are socialized to believe that these feelings are abnormal and unnatural. While grief is normal and natural and clearly the most powerful of emotions, it is also the most neglected and misunderstood experience, often by both the griever and those around them. Grief is the conflicting feelings caused by the end or change in a familiar pattern or behavior. For an example of that was in 2019, for me, I can give a personal example of that, was when in 2019, my dad, he'd been witnessing skin cancer for a couple of years, and it started in his ear. They did an operation to cut it. They actually cut almost half his ear off. But then the skin cancer grew back, and it grew from his left ear all the way over to his carotid artery, where it suffocated him, and it was horrible and devastating to watch. And anyone who's witnessed anyone go through cancer and watch their body leave them slowly, it's devastating to watch and experience. So when he died, there was a sense of relief because he was no longer suffering. But there was also such immense pain from the loss of losing my dad. So it's conflicting feelings. There's 40 different losses in life. They can start with the death of a parent, the death of a child, the death of a pet, death, moving, relocating, starting a new school, a marriage, a divorce, a loss of finances, the loss of a job, the loss of your home, the loss of your freedom, the loss of trust is such a big one, guys. I had a huge, when I was going through the program, not as a griever. I wasn't ready to look when I signed up originally for the Grief Recovery Method. I'm going to say I signed up with 0.5% of wanting to take responsibility, where I now know you have to be wanting to take at least 1% responsibility. As a griever, you have to take 1% responsibility to want to heal. So what I learned as the grief recovery specialist going through the training myself is my first loss in life was the loss of trust. And once I had that awareness, it shifted everything in my life.